Yo, this is Tone Capone, and you're getting lifted to the sounds of my DJ, DJ Spaceship. Go ahead and beam him up, boy. Let's get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him.
Greetings and salutations from us to all the nations. We're about to get loose, strictly for entertainment. We're reppin' Tampa Bay, 10 toes down. It's waves of the bay. No, we ain't playing around. Saturdays from 10 to 12. Make sure you ride the wave. It's Tone Capone and DJ Spaceship on your airwaves. We're mixing interviews, R&B and hip hop. We're blasting off, and the top is just a pit stop.
You guys are tuned into Waves of the Bay. This is WMNF 88.5. I'm Tone Capone. We got DJ Spaceship here, and we got a special interview tonight, man. This is episode 28 of the FM edition of Waves of the Bay. So please make sure y'all follow us on all social media at Waves of the Bay. But man, we got the homie. We got one of the ambassadors, one of the icons, one of the faces of Tampa Bay, man. He goes by the name of BUCKWHEAT O'TAY up here in the building. Up here on the Zoom. Up here on the Zoom interview, man. So we wanted to say thank you for taking time out to talk with us tonight. I got to put this out here early. This is a pre-recorded interview because people, you know what it is, being on radio. We got to let these cats know what it is. So thank you for joining us and taking some time out. I hope everything's going good with you and your family. And let's get into it, man. Like, how you doing tonight, man? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm at home chilling. I mean, everybody else is like out and about right now, but you know how it is. Just home chilling, go to work, come back to the crib. You get those invites that people want you to come out. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna let y'all be the guinea pigs for right now. I'm just gonna wait a couple of more weeks and see what's gonna happen.
Have you been out anywhere yet, for real?
Hell, nope.
I know they've been trying to get you out like that, man. I can't do it either, bro. Like, especially like I'm a beach person, though. So once they opened up the beach, I was like, can't do it. Can't do it.
But don't get me wrong, we all like to be around people, and just with everything that's going on, it's like I choose to keep my distance a little bit longer than the next person.
Yeah.
That's all.
We can't go out like that, man. And you already know what it's gonna be. Like, people's dropping, people's falling. Like, this is real. People think it's not. People think it's a joke or whatever. But people dying off this, man. Thousands of people are dying off this. So I got a family here to protect, and I can't even chance it.
That's what I'm talking about. I have a daughter back in Minnesota, then I got my family back in Texas. So we all got to live for ourselves, but we have more reasons to live and not let coronavirus take us out.
Yeah, man. You can't be gone off that Rona. Not like that, bro. Not like that, bro. But nah, man, what I wanted to know, man, I did a little bit of research on you just to figure out some questions I wanted to ask you. Man, I know you've been in the music, or not even like, you've been with the radio company since 98?
99.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I moved here November of 98 and got on. I was like doing it for free in 99. And then I got on official, I think like in 2000. The first time we had the first Last Damn show. So I got on right before that. So that was like right at 2000. Yeah, was it 99 or 2000? It's been so long.
Yeah. Man, it's
That's
been
crazy,
a while,
man.
It's been, so you was here when it was 98.7 with Josh and Brian per se.
Right after that, because they started right during the summertime. So I moved like during the winter months, so y'all so-called winter months down here. But it was like a few months before I moved here.
Right. Now, so you're originally from Texas. Like, where in Texas are you originally from?
I'm from a town called community, I should say, named Tapmore. So the town itself, I went to school, was Kennard, but the town local closer to us would be Lufkin. Now, everybody don't know, heard of Lufkin, but I'll put it to you like this. Where I'm from is like literally 20 miles where Des Bryant played high school football. If anybody know about Stephen F. Austin, anybody know about Stephen F. Austin, they beat Duke this past year in college basketball. So both of those cities are literally 23, 25 miles away from where I'm from.
Okay.
So it's in East Texas. I'm from East Texas.
Okay. So now I got a question I want to know about you. Now, I should have been asked you this, and I know I haven't, but how did you come up? How did you get the name Buckwheat? Like, you bald just like I am, my brother. So how you got the name Buck?
We both wearing hats too.
Right. I gotta protect my hairline, the one that's trying to come in. You see what I'm saying?
Sad. Let me.
Really?
Yeah, let me throw that at y'all right quick.
You didn't have to do it like that, Tom.
I'm just saying though. Let me throw that at y'all right quick.
Now I'm kind of jealous a little bit. Man, I'm gonna give y'all the short version real quick. So basically, when I went into the studio, it was Wild 98.7. Big Mom and the Wild Bunch was doing their show. So I met Special Ed and Busta Nuts on the street doing a teen night. They would go like, hey, we need somebody with your type of vibe, your type of energy. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, I'll come through. I ain't doing nothing anyways. So they're like, we'll try to get you on. So went into the studio that night, me and Paco at the same time, that used to be part of the free show. As soon as I walked into the studio, as soon as I walked into the studio, Big Mama looked right at me, dead in my eyes, and chuckled. I'll never forget this. Looked at me, chuckled, and was like, I know exactly what I'm calling you, Buckwheat. Keep in mind, I did have hair at that time, but as age, we all tend to lose certain things, and that's one of the things I lost. That was the hair. So that's how I got Buckwheat. But I was always called Buckwheat as a little kid because of my gap, having hair. If I was to show you guys a picture of me as a kid, y'all be like, oh, now we understand why your auntie called you Buckwheat.
It probably looked just like you with hair. Like you got the little kid and play hairdo, probably.
I remember my mom and dad had me as an outfit where literally it was overalls and like a t-shirt, and my hair was nappy. And if I could ever find that picture, you'd be like, yeah, you was Buckwheat back in the day.
I ain't even gonna be mad at that, man, because you got to look at like kids these days, like their school pictures, their haircut, stuff like that. They looking fly compared to how we looked when we was young. Man, we had all the crazy colors and the bowl cuts, all that, man. You can't even. These kids they stunting right now.
No, they stunt. I mean, look how you got your hair did up right now, and you got to think. You know, they're all into the designs compared to what it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So,
right.
And everybody, and then even with the dookie braids, like everything is so extra. That's what I'm saying. Everything is extra right now.
Right. Right,
But
man.
The kids, they trying to get like the OBJ hairstyle and, you know, all those different ASAP Rocky hairstyles and stuff.
Yeah, bro. I always say y'all doing too much or being too extra, but then that's the old side coming out of me then.
Right.
You gotta admit it sometimes, though.
What was it that pushed you to radio? Of all things out there that you can do, I mean, you from Texas. That's a football state like Florida, baseball state like Florida. Like, what pushed you to radio?
Nothing. Honestly, this is nothing that I desired or wanted to do. It just literally fell into my lap. My background growing up was all about, you know, I grew up with a gospel background. My dad and his brother had a gospel group. I was always in church, going to some type of church concert, somebody's church. So growing up, one of my classmates' dad was in radio. And I think I was at the age of 7 or 8. And he invited us to come to the radio station. And I vaguely remember he was like, hey, this could be you if you ever wanted to do this. And as a kid, I'm just like, oh, just anybody. Ooh, it's cool, you work on the radio, da-da-da. But once I moved here and was talking to a certain person, and when I went to the radio station, it just kind of like fell into my lap. And then once you get a taste of anything that you, I mean, I was already brought up in the entertainment world on the gospel side, and I had family and friends that was doing little stuff here and there. But like once I moved here and got a taste of that, it was just like, oh, this is fun. Let's roll the dice. Let's go with it. Right. So it literally turned into something out of nothing.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned earlier about you having some ties to Minnesota. Is that somewhere you live, or is that just somewhere you have family?
No, that's just family in that direction. Bro, I love this weather way too much to be dealing with some Minnesota weather.
Can't do it, man. Can't do it,
bro. It's good to visit and then bring your butt back.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because somebody like me myself, I always wanted to go to Minnesota because, you know, they got the Mall of America. And then I'm the type of person, like, I didn't grow up in snow. I'm born and raised right in Tampa. So, you know, seeing summer, spring, fall, winter, to all the different seasons is not something you're gonna get here. It's just summer, hurricanes, and more summer. We don't, as you know, we don't have a winter time and stuff like that. So I actually wanted to go up and see something like that, but I probably go and get tired of it and come back.
Oh, you be tired of that real quick, man. All it's gonna take is a couple days to walk around in it, man. That's all it's gonna take.
Let me tell you something, fellas. It get cold in Texas too, but not that type of cold. Like sleet and all that kind of stuff. But that cold, like the wind chill factor is one thing. And like I said, it's cool to visit, but trust me, you don't want to live there. Once it starts snowing, like, I mean, Tone, you know what time it is.
I do. I do. I'm good on that.
I've lived in snow. Like I lived in New York for 2 years, but I know Minnesota cold and New York cold are two different worlds.
Yeah, man.
It is, but it's still cold. I don't care. Yeah. It's still cold. Yeah. We okay, from Texas, we won't never understand. Even for like 20 degrees to us is like, what the hell? To them, it's like, oh, we can rock this until it gets into the negative. And then for us, we're like, negative? I'm good. I'll wait till it warm up a little bit.
Right.
I'm living
when
here.
It hits like the hot, when it hit like mid 60s here, that's too cold for people in Florida. You know, we not
55 is cold for me. That's my cutoff mark.
Yeah.
And they ain't used to be like that. I used to be rocking shorts in 55 in Kansas.
Hello. Jesus.
It's like that, man. Yo, this is Waves of the Bay, episode 28. We got Buckwheat on the phone with us, man, on the Zoom interview with us. Me and Spaceship chopping it up with the homie BUCKWHEAT O'TAY, man.
Tay.
So, Buck, what is it like, doing radio in Tampa, going out and about and being recognized and stuff like that? Like, tell me some of the crazy fan encounters that you come across, that you had.
It's been a lot. I mean, I would say more now than ever, but I mean, that's like anybody's career. You got to start somewhere, and then your status tend to go up. The whole fan and famous is radio, so I mean, it's cool to have, but some things I've seen has been kind of crazy. Like, I've had dudes literally buy me a bottle that I didn't know back in the day at, what club was I at? At Club Sky. I've been at the gas station where people, which is still weird even talking about it right now, where people would just definitely like pull up at the gas station like, oh, hello, you're BUCKWHEAT. And I'm like, yep. Oh my God, and taking pictures. So, I mean, nothing really crazy, but it's just more like people recognize my voice and be like, even like going through the drive-thru at a fast food joint, it's just like, oh, dang, we recognize your voice. Like, yo, like I've gotten a free meal because of my voice, which is just like, okay.
Right, that's love. I'll take it.
I will say no to a free meal.
I want to speed things up a little bit for you. I want to speed things a little bit, speed up things a little bit for you. Last damn show. I mean, Wild Splash.
Okay.
When it comes to Wild Splash, I'm pretty sure your phone, you're getting calls from people that you haven't heard from in ages. What's an artist that hasn't performed on Wild Splash that you're looking forward to having and you're campaigning to have them hit that stage?
Well, I mean, we all know the music changes so quickly. There's not really a certain artist, unless it's that artist that's been in the game for like at least 5 years that haven't came here. So, I mean, of all the artists, the OG artists I've seen, I was hoping that we would have got Megan Thee Stallion to come here for Wild Splash. That would have been awesome. But as of right now, it's a lot out there, bro. I mean, like, it's a lot of artists that I would love to meet, to see bless the stage. I was hoping that Corey Day would have came through, but he had family issues going on, so.
Right.
But I was just with that question, I would say Megan Thee Stallion probably would have been the one I wanted to see, just because she's where I'm from, area-wise, back from Texas. And just to chop up with her and kind of like, take it back. Like, hey, how was Houston? How, what's different now than what it was when I was there? Or what's happening there in the last couple of years that I don't know anything about?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what's your opinion about artists, local in the area, in the Bay Area? Like, what are some things about artists in the area that you tend to learn about as compared to the music back in Texas?
Delivery, swag, production. I mean, everything is different. I literally just had this conversation not too long ago where we was talking about like artists for different regions. Like when I went to New York this past December for the first time, and I was at this one club, and like the vibe there was so totally different compared to the club vibe that we have here. And the music was different, and the party vibe was different. So that got me to thinking like every region is different. New York, Florida, even the ATL.
West Coast, man.
Yeah, and then, the West Coast itself. And even Seattle got their own vibe when it comes to music that people don't realize. But, I mean, every region, every state got their own little vibe to it, own little swagger to it. So with the Florida artists, everybody I keep seeing where people keep talking about, oh, we need to put on for the 813, put on for the 727. I'm like, bro, put on for yourself. Once you put on for yourself, you know what I'm saying, everything else is going to follow. You don't need the radio station. Like, the platform is so totally different now than what it was 5 years ago and 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You got more people doing interviews like this, and, you just don't need the radio anymore. When you got Spotify and you have the internet and Instagram, you don't need radio. I mean, radio is going to be the last thing that you need that's going to get you a little bit more followers or a fan base. As an artist, if you're not creative on what you're trying to do, then you're held down to your creativity and the team around
you. I like that, man. So how do you feel like everything's moving then? Like, how are you adapting to everything that's changing?
So there's a two-part answer to that. I love the 90s music. And I'm stuck in it. Like, I catch myself listening to 90s rap and R&B and soul artists, even gospel music now. But working in the radio, it keeps me relevant with the game that's going on now. So my personal pick, I'm going to choose 90s and some today artists. But when I'm doing radio stuff, I dig some of the local artists that we have in the city more now than ever. You take it back to rated R days and crazy. That's all, and Act of Food. That's all we really had. You had some cats trying to do some stuff, but now you put Tom G in that same discussion. He was there then, and he's there here now. So he lived to both sides. So I would say now the artists are being more creative. The artists are networking more fluent than they were back then. They starting to understand you got to get outside your city instead of trying to rock what's in 813 and the 727. What's that new area code? Is it 656?
That's 656, boy. I got some arm space for it, man.
Soon to be 656.
I seen that jump, man. I was like, we've been saying 813, 813, how does that even fit in? That sounds like some New York area code.
Nah, you call it the 6, just like Drake does, and roll with it, man. There you go.
Somebody about to get crafty with it.
Yeah, they're going to start calling Tampa the 6.
That's what I'm saying, man. Call it the 6 and run with it, man.
Because I remember back in the day, I remember when St. Pete used to be 813. I remember all this used to be 813, and then St. Pete, Clearwater got bougie and went their own way, and now they the 727. But I remember back then, it used to be a long distance call when it first turned to the 727 to 813. Like, it used to be long distance.
Really?
Yes. The call
How
across
times
the bridge,
have changed.
When they flipped it from 813 to 727, they used to be a long distance call.
Across the goddamn bridge?
Across the bridge, yes.
Wow.
It's crazy, man. I mean, just like anywhere, like even in your city, I'm pretty sure things have changed in your city as opposed to when you were growing up and stuff like that. Like I remember when when Brandon Mall was a cow pasture. I'm showing a little bit of age. I'm showing a little bit of age with that one, so I might need to slow down on that part.
No, bro. I mean, what was the mall that was over there by the Buccaneer Stadium?
Tampa Bay Mall.
There it is. I was here.
Tampa.
What was it, Tampa Bay Mall?
It was Tampa Bay Mall.
Okay. And then you got to think that mall was jumping, bro. That bad.
And then after that one was after that it was Eastlake Mall. It was the Eastlake Mall on the east side.
Yep.
Which is what is Net Park.
That's where all the call centers and stuff is at now, right?
Yeah. That's where all the call centers and stuff. So how has technology changed with radio since when you first got in as up to today?
I remember being part of the Wild Bunch with Greg, 3LG, and we used to have cameras in the studio so you could see us online. So that was way before all this stuff right here. So it was crazy that we actually had that technology and nobody really moved very quickly on it. So with that being said, you know, we went from people used to call the radio station up and be like, oh, let me request a song, to where it's like now I'm texting in a song to hear instead of calling. And then if you don't get the call, I mean, people are tweeting on songs they want to hear. So you got to think with Twitter and Instagram, it's changed the game a lot because people are more vocal on those platforms to hear what they want to hear. But other than that, I mean, and like I said, it has the technology taken away from radio, in my opinion, of course. I mean, you can hear what you want to hear. You have control of what you want to hear. On the radio, you do not. You can request a song. The chance of it playing won't happen. It may happen. Mm-hmm. But even with that being said, man, you get tired of hearing the songs that you want to hear sometimes. So you just want to hear something different, so you turn on the radio. A lot of people think radio is gonna die out, but it won't, because people still need advertisement. As long as you have personalities like ourselves, and that's able to connect with people, like, you still gonna have an audience for that. I mean, that's
necessary.
Yeah, it is. It's the whole part of being an artist. And for us, it's a new outlet to promote ourselves. It used to be, hey, if you listen to the Nut House and hear Buckwheat, you hear my voice and that's it. Now you got Instagram, Twitter. We got this interview right now. Like, it's so many more outlets. And I think even with us not being artists, like rapping and singing, like, we need to take advantage of what's given to us to play chess with the game, with the industry.
Right. So now, since you've been doing radio, like, who are some of the people that you've looked up to when it comes to like radio, as far as like mentorship and stuff like that?
There's really a few people, man. Like Greg is one of them. Ace Redowd for sure. Like, that's the big homie right there. He definitely gave me some knowledge. Gordy, who used to do the Freak Show.
Yeah, I remember Gordy, man.
Yeah, Gordy, and the one person who really gave me knowledge a few times that we linked up when we had time to like talk was Big Money Said. Like, there wasn't one time.
Yes, rest in peace.
Yeah,
I wish I would have got to meet him, man.
Oh, bruh, like, he's for me, for this area, was the voice. He was the voice. And I would say behind Big Money Said, Ace Redowd, because those two cats know how to connect with people, not just artists, but also people's like peers like ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was, and with Big Money Said, like, his energy, bro, was just so like.
Yeah, that's all I hear about him, man. Yeah, man. I wish I'd have got to meet him while he was still here, man.
Yeah, like, and like I said, and he's always gave me knowledge, and he's always pushed me, and he was like, Buck, you got this, just keep doing you, and keep listening to the streets. And that's just locally the cats here, but other than that, like, you know, Tom Joyner, Greg Street, those are only two people outside of the Tampa area that I pay homage and respect to, because I remember listening to Greg Street growing up, at home in the country, and we could barely pick up like the stations in Dallas or Houston. But when we did, it was just like, oh, the antenna set up the right way. Yo, hold up, shh, everybody be quiet. And
been there.
So just
I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like.
We got Kansas City. We got Kansas City tonight.
I'm sorry. We always had something. Power pick 93.3, 94.1, 98.7, 1150, 1380.
Yeah.
We never had those kind of small problems.
You just sonically spoiled is the problem, man. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. Don't get me wrong, man. I'll open the doors for myself and Steffi, but like knowledge-wise, those guys I named, they really, really gave it to me. And I'll be forever grateful in all the knowledge that those guys gave me and the things that they told me to push forward. OG stuff.
Right. Now, me as a DJ, like I started out DJing and I used to just do house parties. And once I started DJing, it changed the way I listen to music. Like when I'm listening to radio, I'm listening to other DJs do their thing. Did that change the way that you listen to radio yourself, or can you not even listen to radio once you leave the station?
No, I listen to radio stations. I listen to other jobs. Shiz is my boy. I listen to him sometimes when I'm riding out just to see, because you can always learn from everybody around you. Mm-hmm. You can always pick up something sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes you can pick something up. You be like, oh, hold up. Let me mentally take that down and try to change my approach on how I host a party or how I MC an event. Right. For myself, bro, I mean, at the age that I am, we're still learning. We can never stop learning. And I tell people that all the time, like, bro, you can learn something from a homeless person in Ybor City. If you just take the time and just listen just a little bit, and you watch the way and you just watch and observe, you can learn something.
That's
and
true.
You realize you learned that until down the road, you'd be like, dang, you know what? That OG actually said something, but you don't realize that. But that's just things that I've learned from my uncles, man. They always told me, shut the hell up and listen. and
that's true. You got two ears and one mouth.
Exactly. So that's just the knowledge that's been given to myself throughout the years of living. And I still do that now.
Gotcha. And the one thing I always I actually admire about you is like, no matter where you are, what you're doing, you always take the time out to, actually have conversations with people. And I'm pretty sure there's been times when you be like, I'd rather not, I'm good, I don't want to do it, but you still do it because, like you say, in that moment, it could be something as small as a mustard seed that you can learn and you can apply to what you currently do and make you a better person or put you further in your career, what you're doing.
Man, I've had my conversations with like some of the artists here, and some of them listen, some of them don't. But I mean, that's their choice. But the ones that, that take the time to want to listen, why not pass on the knowledge that we already have? I can't take this with me, so I might as well give it to you, so that'll make you a smarter and a wiser person, as you grow up, especially in the game that we're in. People are quick to be, conniving and doing everything for an alternative motive, but you got to make sure that you're a good judgment caller when it comes to people like that. And sometimes those situations don't come down until on down the road. It might not be right then and there, but it's going to happen on down the road. And you can't avoid that. It's going to happen. It is what it is. But the thing is, protect yourself and your craft as much as you can, but also make sure that you share that knowledge all at the same time.
Gotcha. Now, you guys have like a very diverse crowd of personalities and DJs over at 94.1. And the most recent one that you guys pulled in was C Nasty. In my opinion, one of the top DJs in the city. People be sleeping, but C Nasty, one of the top DJs. What is it like having him in a part of the team now?
The crazy part is that boy been trying to get on for a minute.
Yeah,
he been
out there grinding.
Yes, he been grinding. He been on old butt for a minute and finally got in. I'm happy, like he knows this already. We've already talked. I'm happy that he's part of the team, finally. I wish it could have been a little bit earlier than it is now. And the crazy part is he comes in right before this whole COVID-19. And I'm like, damn, man, Rona messing things up. But So hopefully his moment to shine on the radio is as soon as this thing is over with, man, so people can really see and hear his mixing skills. Because people only know of his skills in the urban clubs. So now he get to, in my opinion, come on over, brother. Let's go ahead and get some of this other crowd. This mixed crowd.
That's true.
Yeah, you know, the more people, the more you bring it in, the better you're gonna be.
That's true, because with all that diversity that y'all got over there, like y'all got C Nasty, like you just said, he, in my opinion, if you haven't been to a club that he's fun in, you missing out. Like C Nasty is one of the top DJs in the city, in my opinion. And you also have personalities like Wild Babs. Like I met her at the I think it was the Atlantic event that you and I ended up being at together. And I honestly didn't know who she was, but she's definitely made it known who she is in the city. Like by far, like, let's be clear, like Wild Bab, she holds it down. I like how she's creative and how she takes her show serious, and she creates the content around it. Like she and when she was doing the reaching out to the essential workers, that was pretty dope, because a lot of people, nobody else was doing that until I seen her do it.
Now she you know what? She did it in a different way. I mean, people was doing it, like shouting out, but like for her to take the time and text those people in the morning just to say, hey, I appreciate you. Like, you don't, I mean, you guys probably do, but that effect means a lot coming from a radio person or just anybody in general. Because I've had a couple situations where I talked to a couple nurses, and not that they broke down, but you can hear it in their voice. It was just like they're overwhelmed with what was going on. So for you to wake up in the morning and be like, hey, listen, I appreciate you. You get ready to go to work and you're thinking like, dang, I gotta deal with this. Attitudes and patience and whatever situation drum about to pop off, but you get that text saying, hey, listen, we appreciate what you're doing. That makes that nurse or whoever essential feel so well going into work. Like it changed their vibe completely. So Bab killed you with that. She killed it.
And she's pretty good. Like I sit back and, you know, I watch things. She's one of the people I could say in the city that I sit back and watch the things that she do, and I look at what I'm doing and try to like reinvent some certain things that I'm doing. Shizm is another one. Queen Bee is another one. You another person too. Like I can be, how can I say this? Like I'm a people person. I like to clown. I like to joke. Like we done hung out a couple of times and had some good times. Right. But it's you always have those moments when you kind of just like want everybody to go that away, and you just got to have those woosah moments. And I look to people like you, because I can never say I've seen Buckwheat in a bad mood or you know, like some rude type stuff about you. Like you always been like cool, chill, O'Tay, on that. You know? It's always been cool, and it's like you have people that come from different places. Like, you know, you from Texas. You don't. The one thing that gets to me is when I have people that come from different places and come to my city and be like, oh, you know, back home this, back home that. That's nice, but you're not home. You're here. You're in Tampa. You're in Rome now. So I appreciate you for that, man. Like I learned a lot from you, Babs, Queen Bee, Shizm, and H. Badal is another person I used to peep out too when he was down here. I catch him on Facebook when he be doing this thing. He does like he does radio and he does the voiceovers and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. He DJs. I know he DJs events, but like he's been. I've been watching him too. He's been doing a lot of stuff. I wish he was still here in Tampa. It's another beast. But even with myself, even what you're just saying just now, like I even tell Babs, I'm like, we have to be able, because we're so competitive with satellite radio and the social stuff, we got to be able to reinvent how we do our break, so we can make sure, and our topics, because the whole point is like you want to be able to tease the audience enough to where not all of them, but whoever listens, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna go in there because I want to find out where it's gonna go. And even with the music, like there's been times I've heard our station and FLZ and Hot, and we're all playing damn near the same song around about the same time. I'm like, oh man, what's really going on? And you gotta think that's everybody's switching out because of that. So I'm like, you gotta be able to finesse it.
Right.
You gotta be able to finesse it.
Now, as you know, our good brothers Timberland and Swiss Beats created the platform with the versus battle and stuff like that. And they don't get some good ones. They gave us Riley King to face all day over here. They just gave us Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. I'm gonna give you two names, and I want you to tell me who would win this versus and why.
Okay.
Barry Gordy versus Quincy Jones, and why?
Oh, you went old school on my ass.
I went old school on you.
See, that's kind of hard because you got to have Barry Gordon, who had the Jackson 5, and then you had Quincy Jones, who had Michael Jackson.
That's true. That's true. Hands down. Now I'm gonna tell you now. Today I found out something that I didn't know. I didn't know that Quincy Jones produced Thriller, Off the Wall, and Bad. I didn't know that.
Oh, you did?
And me and my I did not know he produced all of those three albums top to bottom. And what I also had to do, because I was having this conversation with my brother Dante, and I had to look at the track listing of Thriller, and you can pretty much make a single off every single. That's an album that you can play beginning to end, no skips. Every track. It's only 13 tracks, but still, you have to think about it too. It's the tough one.
It is, but I'm gonna go with Quincy Jones. And that's still hard because even with that, Barry Gordy had the Temptations, right?
Motown.
He had the Temptations.
Yeah, so
he had Stevie Wonder.
And Smokey. Yeah, I forgot.
And Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. So it's like
bro. I'm gonna tell you why. Hold up. All right, this is really tough to answer. It's easy, but it's not. You can't compare the two because the era of the music. You're comparing the 70s, late 60s, 70s swag with all those artists with Barry Gordy, and then you got Quincy Jones with all the 80s and the early 90s artists.
That sounds like a cop-out to me. I don't know about that one, man.
Hold on. Because Quincy, Michael Jackson, Off the Wall and Bad, that was like mid-70s.
Okay, hold on. Who did Quincy have?
Quincy had everybody.
What artist though?
Well, of course, he had Michael Jackson. He had Barry White. His roster is just as long as Barry's roster. If I had to answer the question, I would say
I'm going with Quincy Jones.
I would say Quincy. I would say Quincy because he had, when anybody left Motown and went to Quincy, he got them and took them to that next level. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the reason and plus his, Tupac was talking, dating his daughter, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I thought not going to get outside of that. Thug life.
Yo, space.
West side.
Nah, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, man. That's why you got to go with Quincy. You got to roll with that theme song the whole show.
So,
that's an impossible question, though.
No, it is. I mean, it's a lot of history with both of those guys. So that's a tough one. But Quincy Jones all that for me.
I got to go with Quincy, man, because he just, and he's a Pisces. He doesn't care about nothing he says now. Like, he's telling the truth on everybody. Like, Denzel, I'm putting a case on all you. Pelican Bay ain't got on me.
Hold up, you guys remember the CD Juke Joint? Juke Joint?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Bruh, if you don't know about that, then you ain't part of the clique.
Yeah.
That bad boy was rocking.
Quincy Jones all day. Like, I mean, I got to give it a Q.
Yeah. Quincy Jones. I like that. I'm going to have to steal that one. Well, no, I can't because my audience is not that old.
Listen, if they start losing their hair like me and you did, then you can still put it out there. Then again, some of them have lost their hair. Some of the ladies lost their hair. Some of the men have lost their hair. So you can still use that one. You can use that one. I'm just saying, man. Ladies out here losing their hair too, man. Yeah, man. How do you find time to like, to be around the for yourself, like for your mental health, your mental mind state to refresh Buck? Like, how do you find that time and space to do all that, man? Like, You got the Rona going on. You got the radio crazy schedule.
Right.
You just got everything in between. How do you find time for Buck to refresh and just reset itself mentally?
I mean, right now I don't have a choice.
This is true.
But before that, man, you just got to take a time out. I mean, I try to keep my ass in the house when things before this all popped out, because I have so many gigs that I'm hosting. So if I'm not hosting, I just stay home and try to relax and just try to catch up on TV shows or movies or whatnot. Or even with music, like tonight when I'm done with you guys, I'm probably gonna just get back and check out some music, some of the new artists in the game right now, just to see what the vibe is. And also just to be, I mean, as you're a DJ, you gotta say what's hot and relevant. Mm-hmm. For me, I just rather be knowledgeable. If somebody like, hey, you heard of this artist? I'm like, I've heard of them. I know about them, not a lot, but I know what you're talking about. Instead of being, I don't know who that is. I never heard of them. Like, but then again, there's so many artists out there, bro. So many artists out there. Yeah. So I just pay attention to the emails that I get, because if your name is attached to a certain record pool or to a certain DJ, I'm gonna be more attentive to check that out until somebody tell me otherwise.
Gotcha. And it's I completely agree with you. You got to stay up to the times and stuff like that, because if an artist's name is thrown out there and you don't know about them, and then everybody else around you do, it's like you're on the outside of an inside joke type of thing.
You lose that credibility, man.
Yeah.
Especially with what we do, you lose that credibility.
Yeah, you do. But once again, like we always say, fellas, like there's so many artists out there. I mean, think about it. You have songs that are blowing up on TikTok. I mean, the new what's the name of the song? Don't Rush.
Yeah, Don't Rush.
TikTok.
Yeah, Afrobeat. It's another one called Vibe. Shout out to my homie Cookie Quiet. She's out of Jersey, and she, if you back it up, something I can't think of.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just saw the name a couple of weeks ago. So, but that's what I'm talking about. It's so many artists coming out of everywhere. You can't keep up with everybody. So you just got to try your best.
Right. That's true. That's true. I try to keep up with the trends and stuff, and talk to my younger nieces and nephews and cousins and stuff like that to keep up with what's new out there. And like you said, I listen to other radios and other jocks and stuff like that. I'm gonna see what they're playing, and I listen to like radio stations out west and up in New York to see what they're playing and stuff like that. And if it's not being played out here, then I'm on it. To try to be the first person to break it.
But that's got to be different for you guys too, though, because I mean, even with you, Tone, like you deal with all kinds of music, but just from the vibe and the conversations that we've had, like you deal with a lot of R&B stuff. The R&B world is like it's crazy. Right, prime example. My boy's in my house right now. He put me on Khalid before we started playing it. Yes, and the crazy part, he's gonna
can't sing a lick. Can't sing a lick. We got some of the best music out there, though, man.
Yo, so when you got to say with the R&B world, like it's so crossed up with the top 40. It's there's a couple artists. Matter of fact, Dana Rawls' daughter or granddaughter, I forgot her name. I just found out about her last year. She sings, and I heard her EP, and I was like, whoa, ain't nobody talking about it right now. Ain't nobody
at all.
Exactly. So
I can't think of her name too. I can't think of her name, but it's in my head. I know you're talking about though.
Yeah, and nobody's talking about it. So like, it's so much dope R&B music out there, and it's hard to keep up with. That's why everybody is in their own lane now. That's why the labels have changed the way they do things, because artists are all about their show money right now, and ain't even mad at their asses.
Facts. And I think for me, the R&B world is wide open, because you got a lot of new people. Like you got Kelly Rowland just came out with another one called Coffee. She has a project coming out. Beyonce is Beyonce, but then you got your Summer Walkers, you got your Her, your SZA. So Division, you have so many newer artists that are coming out with different vibes and stuff like that. So I agree with you on that.
No, it is.
Man, all right. So this is Waves of the Bay, episode 28. We got BUCKWHEAT on the Zoom interview with us. Make sure you guys follow us all social media at Waves of the Bay. I got quite a few questions for you myself. One thing we have not talked about, but we've kind of been touching around, is kind of something that I had a good time, like just being a part of, man. So let's take this back just a couple seconds ago when you're talking about R&B. The reason why, like, I'm connected to R&B, especially out here, is because we choose to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get to do whatever we want to do when it comes to these events. When it comes to what we get to play on our show, we get to play whatever we want to. You know, so we get submissions from artists out here. But you changed the game last year with this Loud on 7th Music Festival, and we haven't even got to talk about that yet. So looking back at that, man, like, I thought it was a success, but I know, like, you had expectations for it going in. So now that it was wrapped up, like, how do you feel it played out?
The one thing I've learned overall, just with my friends and things that I've seen and heard, you're never going to win the first couple of years. But it's the stepping stones that you need to be successful, is to have those hardship and breakdown situations. So on the socials, it looked good. Behind the scenes, not so much. But I mean, it was my first time doing something. We got to give mad respect to H. Like, he handled a lot of stuff. So like, mad respect and love to my dog, first of all, H. But going in this year, September the 10th through the 13th, second weekend in September. Depends on this whole, Rona situation. We're gonna do it again, and we're gonna focus on. I even told him I want to focus on more R&B acts. I want to do some in the garage live band type of stuff. Like, I want to do like a funk session. You know what I'm saying? Just like get a band together and just like, hey, you got the drums, you got the guitar. Yo, Tiffany, come jump in. What song you want to hear? We got you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want to make it more vibrant and more fun. And not just R&B, dude. Like, it's a lot of gospel here. I want to tap into the gospel side, the country side. So maybe not this year, but as the years go, it's just going to get bigger and better, and we're going to tap into more little things and a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah, man, we third.
The R&B is ready, though.
Man, we actually did the R&B showcase last year. Now that I think about it, we did the R&B showcase, and yeah, it was like a last minute type thing, man. You guys said that you needed an R&B show. We happened to have a date. We wanted to be part of it, and I'm so thankful that we were, because we were in the trenches with y'all, man. And the night before, I got to host another show. Spaceship, you hosted like a spoken word night or something? Was that what you were doing?
I did a portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just the variety, and like, I got to meet a whole bunch of artists that I was not familiar with, and got to network with them. And we're in the midst of the whole Waves of the Bay movement at that time, so it was really beneficial for us. And that's why I'm really excited about it this year, because there's so much talent out here, and all we need is somebody to start putting some stuff together so we can all make that move. And I think that last year was a power play for y'all, honestly.
No, it was, and I'm not even gonna knock that, bro. But I think going, like I said, to this year, it's everything got to be bigger and better, of course, as everybody says,
right.
Those cliche words. But for us, because of the talent that we have here, not just on the R&B, but there's some cats that go to King High School, Littleton High School, that can really funk out on a guitar, or, get real crazy on the saxophone. Like, they need the exposure as much as we can give them, if not even more. Because at the end of the game plan is the more exposure that we can give any of these artists, the better the chance that we can get label reps to come down and see what we really have in Tampa. Tampa got it. It just, Rock Wave already running away with it. Tom G already had it. Famous Kid Brick and, Richie West now. Like, everybody's doing the thing.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't really get caught up in the whole, we need more Sean. No, just let it organically grow. Because if it grows the way it should, then it's just like a flower. It's just going to blossom and then just going to go into everybody else's grass.
Right.
Straight up, man. Straight up. Now, it's no surprise me and Spaceship have, dreams of moving up and, aspirations of doing more when it comes to, music, hosting, events, all that stuff. So, being in the industry since, for 20 plus years now, I like to ask people like that for advice. Like, what's a bit of advice you would give us that you would have gave yourself back then?
Oh, man. So the advice I'm giving you is what I'm going through right now. Is that, I've had a lot of my friends tell me this and tell me that and actually pointed me in the right direction. Is the one thing is to be more eager be more hungry. I think we get so caught up in just like, oh, I'll be all right, I'll wait. Nah, bro. If you're gonna do it now. Don't waste no time, because by the time you waste and keep pushing it back, next thing you know, 10 years will be by now you're 45. And you're gonna be saying, I wish I coulda, woulda. So never leave any space or time or thought in your mind to say, I wish I could have done this, or I should this or that. Like, just do it. Don't do it just in the thoughts that you're gonna fail, but just do it in the thoughts that if you do fail, you learn from those mistakes so you won't make those mistakes on down the road. And learn at an early age. So just keep doing it, bro. Just like I said, like I get caught up in myself some stuff, and I'm like, well, I didn't do that. Like, dang it. And then I beat myself up. But then once I do that, because I come up with ideas all the time.
Right.
So H wanted to put this event off Loud on 7 to this year, and I was like, nope, we're doing it now. Because we've thinking about it. It's both been on both our minds for the last couple of years. No, we're doing it now. Period. So I'm glad that we did that in the house of learning from those mistakes that won't happen again this year, but also to be able to put people on like you guys and anybody who's connected with you guys. I mean, there's always going to be people you don't want to work with, but those as business owners and, you know, trying to network, you got to get past that sooner or later. Maybe not right now, but sooner or later, you know, we all got to work together for a common cause, and that's just like to put the talent out there so they can be connected and blow up. So they can be like, oh, if it wasn't for Buckwheat, or if it wasn't for Space, it wasn't for Tone. Like, it's cool to be attached to things like that.
Right, I agree.
It definitely is, and we got an obligation to be a part of that too. You know, that's part of the reason why we're in the positions we are, so we can, you know, cause some type of change. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. This Waves of the Bay, we're talking with Buckwheat right now. I got a question about the Nut House and this black and white segment that I'll be listening to when I'm riding around town. Have y'all I know y'all have, but how has the backlash feedback been on that? I'm pretty sure most people is cool with it, but I'm pretty sure y'all get some crazy comments.
When we first started doing it, we did. Do we now? Once in a blue moon. And even the complaints that we've got at the beginning was, and I even hate to say it was black people. Because it was like, oh my God, you pulling us back, this is racist. I'm thinking it's called black or white. Come on.
It sound like it's making it sound like you saying black and dog.
Exactly. So it came about, I think, me and Steph was either show prepping or he brought up some article, and I literally said, oh, that's something black people would do. And literally, as I said that, we looked at each other and it was like, ding! And he put it out there, and we were just like, oh, let's do it. I mean, no harm, no foul. At the end of the day, we're talking about stupid criminals. I mean, how many times have we all been around?
Plum dumb, dog. Yeah. Like, for real.
I mean, we've been around friends of people, we've been like sharing stories. We'd be like, man, that sounds like some white person would do. Or that sounds like some black person would do. Or that sounds like some Spanish people would do. Like,
I know they had to be white. What color? They were black. Oh no!
Hey, and you get mad when it's black.
You be like, no, they not. If they black or they black.
This one.
You gotta find out, you know, they black or they black.
Exactly. I remember we did a black and white. It was where a lady got pulled over 3 times for speeding, and this was last year. And everybody called in like, "Oh, that's white." Because you know how we think, speeding 3 times. Oh, that's a white person. She was black. It literally. I see what I'm saying?
That was the longest day in the world right there, bro. Oh my goodness.
It's those type of stories that make you go like, oh man, that was a black person, but because you would think
a bus pass at that
time you went to jail. Or whatever.
She needed a bus pass.
Exactly, I take it. But it's just things like that, bro. So I'm glad we do it. It's probably one of our biggest segment on our show right now. No, it is the biggest segment on our show, outside the mix show. But we have fun with it.
Y'all have me cracking up, man. Because just like you said, this stuff we be talking about anyway. It's like we'll see the headline. Man, I hope this dude ain't just like that, bro. So
They from Florida all the time too. Like, what's going on with the Florida water?
I'll tell you something though.
Man.
If they're not from Florida, they're usually from Kansas City, man. I can't call it, yo. Like it seems like it's like Missouri or Florida, but mostly Florida, because Florida, y'all cats is crazy, bro. I don't know.
Man, listen. Charlemagne said it the best. All the craziest people in the world come from the Bronx, New York, and all of Florida. And he ain't lying. Like every time, be like, oh, they got us. Like how they just recently had the people in Clearwater doing push-ups and stuff outside, protesting to open the gym. I'm like,
Bruh.
You know you was out there too, Ship.
nah, I was in the house with my dumbbell like this. And yeah, y'all go ahead, man.
Talking about I
No.
support.
Nah, that ain't me, dog. I got better. My mama raised me better than that, man. I ain't that crazy.
It
I
ain't
ain't
that
trying to
serious.
get out there like that, man. For real. Like especially the way the cops are right now. Like I ain't trying to be anywhere out there where they might try to come get me and get me confused or none of that, man. I'm in the crib.
That's why we
Straight
zooming
up.
right now in our own house.
That's why we zooming right now.
Right.
And I'm still looking over my shoulder like, hey, where the cops at, man? Like, yo, like
Oh my
nah,
God.
man. I got some off the wall questions for you though. And I was thinking just some quarantine stuff. You know, I've been locked away from people too long. So I want to know, I'm gonna give you 3 names. And you gotta wife one, you gotta keep one as a side chick, and then you gotta cut one. This is gonna be the quarantine edition. So who you gonna be stuck with, man? I got Ashanti, I got Maya, and I got Kelly Rowland.
I'm stuck with Kevin.
That's that.
I'm cutting the other two.
You said you done already, huh?
I'm already done already. I just told you about
Oh
that.
snap! Oh, so you said Kelly, Ashanti, who else?
And Maya. And boy, you sleeping on Maya. Maya still look like it's 1998 right now, boy.
Man, I don't even care. Kelly.
Yo, space.
You said Kelly.
All day. And I ain't talking about Bundy.
I'm gonna go with dang, you threw with the Maya though.
So just cut
Kelly,
Kelly, so then you
Kelly.
don't have to have a knife fight.
Nah, Kelly.
Kelly.
I always thought Kelly was the one, even with Destiny Child. As much as Beyonce get all the love and whatnot, Kelly always been the one. Always. Hands down.
All right, so who's gonna be your side and who you gonna cut?
But I'm gonna keep Maya. Bye Ashanti. Food. Let it go.
That don't even sound right.
Mm.
That don't even sound right.
I was hoping he'd say cut Kelly so we ain't got to
Like
have
that
a
hurts
knife
my
fight.
soul. That hurts my soul, man.
Who y'all going with? Like, why since you asking me all the questions?
Hey, I'm telling you, Kelly,
This is what we do.
I'm cutting the other two. It's Team Kelly all day.
I'm going to Ashanti, and then I don't know. I'm going to Ashanti. Keep though. Kelly or Maya? I'd have to go Maya, man. I'll be the one to stray, and that's a tough decision. That's a tough decision, but I'm gonna have to go Maya because, man, I've loved Maya since I was like in high school, bro.
I knew it from the beginning. Cut the other two.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly.
Mm-hmm. But Ashanti now was killing Ashanti back then, though. Like, I don't
Hell
know.
yeah.
You can have it.
She must have been on some Herbalife
have
or
it.
something. I don't know.
I don't even care.
I was looking at a picture of hers on Instagram, and I was just like, damn, girl. Like, you better now than you was back then.
It's not even close, man. Like to the point
Did
where
you-
I can talk freely about it in front of wifey, and she already knows, dog.
Did you see the pictures of Ashanti on Tory Lanez?
Yep. Yep. Yes, I did. Hello.
You see, I'm trying to push y'all in that direction.
I see what you're doing.
Right?
He trying to do that, mister.
Hey, your voodoo does not work over here, friend.
It's not working. Dang.
All right, man. So coming out of Texas, I got another question for you, man. You got to pick one of these cats: UGK or Ghetto Boys.
I almost took my hat off to that question, but I ain't got my hat cut, so you go ahead. I ain't gonna do it.
Got a pocket full of stuff. And that's exactly what I was thinking about. Because growing up, my homeboy used to be in the Cadillac riding to that hard, boy, with the spokes and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But that
what
ghetto,
about mine playing tricks on me, though?
that's what I'm saying. But even that Ghetto Boys and them had like Bushwick was a hard head at boy.
Scarface is that dude, man. Icon.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm saying them pocket full of stones though, man.
You know what? Just because I just thought about something, I'm gonna go with UGK because I remember my cousin had I forgot what kind of car it was. A Maverick. That's what it was. He had the wheels on it with the spokes. And
84s was poking out.
Yes. And we was playing basketball in the yard, and he rolled up bumping UGK. And I was like, as a kid, you playing basketball, you hear that boom, boom, boom in the router.
Right.
Yeah,
like, who that?
And you can hear before the car, before you see the car. UGK.
Yeah,
UGK. That's a tough
one
too.
I agree with you on that one.
That was a tough
But
one.
UGK is like one of my favorite groups of all time, man. Just on some random stuff. Like Riding Dirty came out in '96, and it's still in my CD collection. Like I listen to Riding Dirty at least once a month still, man. Like that one CD is like on my list of 10. On my list of 10 top CDs of all time, that one's on there easy.
You know what's so funny you say that, bro? I literally just listened to 8 Ball MJG last week. I was just feeling that Memphis love, and I was like, let me just bump this. And it's just like, and when you listen to it, bro, you be like, man, I can't.
It took you right back. It took you right back to where you was at.
Bro, it got me to think I want to do like a barbecue. I'm just like, yo, this is what we listening to. We ain't playing no new stuff. Just we vibe now to 8 Ball MJG and all those cats. But God, man, you take me back right now just thinking about it.
It's funny that you mentioned them because like I got on my SoundCloud, I got this mix I'm coming up with called Groups of Hip Hop, and I'm just taking different groups and some of their hits and stuff and making it like this big mix that's coming. So I'm gonna shoot it your way, and I want your opinion on it.
Oh, for sure.
Tell me what you think. So it's gonna be some groups from the West, the South, the Midwest, up top. So it's gonna be lit, man. It's gonna be lit.
No, bring it. I love to hear that, bro.
I got
love to hear that.
Yeah, man. This Waves of the Bay, episode 28, talking with Buckwheat O'Tay. Ship, you got any more questions for the homie, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm just waiting on Rona to end so we can get out there and get some of that lacquer.
Bruh, I'm ready to get back to normal. I'm ready to get around people. Man, I'm ready to get back to doing what we do and being out in the venues and getting stuff going again, getting cracking, man. What's the first place you're going to, Buckwheat, when the outside open back up? Where you heading to first?
The first club that paid me to host. Let's go. I need money.
Straight
up. Want to get that check.
Hell yeah.
That check.
I will say this before we sign off, man. I just hope, thank you guys for having me on the show. Wish you guys nothing but the best. But anybody who's watching this, I hope you guys learn something from it. But I think during this whole Rona situation or coronavirus or COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, pandemic, I hope a lot of DJs change the way they DJ. Because if you come out this thing and you DJ the same way you was when we came into this mess, I can't mess with you no more. Because I've been watching DJs, not just here locally, but even DJs in other cities DJ, and I'm like, yo, that was funky. Like, DJs need to change what we can still play today's hot music, whatever it is, if it's Domingo, Taco Tuesdays, or Little John, or whatever. But if you can't throw back a song or two, a Little John, or some T-Pain to change up the vibe, then you're not a good DJ to me no more. Like, there's so much music
I'm gonna tell you,
out there. And you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you something that DJ Shizm told me when I was resident at Green Gators. He was like, My job as the DJ from 95.7 is to come in and play all the hot hits that's on the radio. So it's like the same 25 songs that everybody's playing. When I'm done, what do you do next? And I was like, he said, it's so much music from yesterday that's way better and that get people more hyped than the stuff now. Use that too. And I took it to heart, and it's nothing for me to, I can play today's music, but I love going to play the old school and hip hop and R&B because, I mean, everybody knows.
Ain't nothing like it, man.
Yeah, when you hear that, it's driving me out of my...
Baby girl knows that song word for word.
So,
my daughter is 5 years old, Joe.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little Poison, a little Soul for Real,
right.
And, you know, Migos and Cardi B, but take it back sometimes. And one thing I want to see DJs do, I want them to take it back to how it used to be. Have your fun, turn the club up, but at the end of the night, slow that thing down to the end. Try to slow grind, and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, where that's at? What DJ?
Man, they don't know how to slow dance no more. They just don't be doing all that.
Hey, bro, listen, the party vibe is, I'm not saying it's gone, but if you look at what's going on in Tampa, everybody is on that vibe. They're on that chill-ish at the moment. Like, you don't find too many, like, let's go club. But, you know, people just want to, like, you know, get the hookahs and just vibe out to some music. It's all about clicking up. So, I mean,
that's why I've been loading that.
I mean, you still got the party vibes out there, but it's not as big unless you have a reason for people to come and party with you. So we'll see. Like I said, hey, thank you guys. Nothing but love. I appreciate this moment.
Man, for real, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show, man. This is Waves of the Bay, episode 28. We just talked with Buckwheat, man. BUCKWHEAT O'TAY. The icon out here, man. Like, it's been a pleasure, bro. Like, and trust me, we watch your moves, we study what you're doing, and you know, we're blessed to have you representing Tampa Bay too.
No doubt. Loud on 7, September the 10th through the 13th. O'Tay, BUCKWHEAT O'Tay on all my socials. Let's get it.
All right now. Well, be easy, be safe, man.
No fact. All right, fellas.
Yep.
No doubt.
All right, man. I'll holler y'all later.
All right. Peace.
No doubt.
This is Tone Capone.
And DJ Spaceship.
And Saturday nights from 10 to midnight, we bring you Waves of the Bay. Right here on WMNF 88.5 Tampa.
With the hottest interviews, the hottest music.
You can submit your music for the Tampa Bay Watch segment at wavesofthebay@gmail.com or follow us on all social media at Waves of the Bay.
Every Saturday, 10 to 12. Make sure you come and ride the wave.
Yes, sir.